Welcome to another episode of Nothing's Ever That Serious. We got a
Science.
We got a
Hoop.
And we have a special guest today.
We do.
Today's going to be a very special episode. I'm very excited about this guest that we have today.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Let's talk about this guest.
Hey, I'm being kept in the dark right now, so I'm learning right with y'all. So
Well,
I'll break it down for you if you like.
But you do know that this guest was a
all-star
fan of the week.
Yes.
How I interpret this is
Tell us.
there was a DM slide, if we remember a few episodes.
Allegedly.
Alleged
there
DM
was.
slide.
An alleged DM slide.
Slid into her DMs through the Nets podcast account. Forgot to log out.
Okay, yeah.
Then
we talked about that, yeah.
You tried to make a play on an episode of the podcast by giving her
news goodie. I
That's
remember
the news goodie
giving
episode.
her fan of the week.
Yeah,
That's
supporter of the week, yeah.
One of your plays.
And now she's on the episode.
She's here.
Oh, so this is like the home run. This is like,
Hey, man.
it's like the slide didn't work.
I'm not putting no
The
salt
supporter
on your
of the
game.
The supporter of the week didn't work. I got to get her here on the pod.
If this don't work,
just hang it up.
just hang it up.
So
Go ahead.
no disrespect to you. I imagine you're going to be a wonderful guest. However, you're only here because Drew.
Special favor.
Despite what these allegations and this slander of my character that the guru is throwing on me right now, there used to be a thing called guy code.
Yes.
And I guess that's gone
It's
out.
gone. Okay.
It's gone out the window. So our guest today is Sam. She's a good friend of mine. We actually met at the gym, and we'll go ahead and introduce her. But let me tell you a little bit about her character to kind of let you know what to expect today.
Right.
So I got a message from Sam, and she was like, I haven't seen you at the gym. You haven't been doing any of the benchmarks. Is everything okay? And I said,
concerned.
Yeah, she was concerned. So I was like, yeah, she's a good friend.
Mm-hmm.
And then I told her, I said, well, I actually hurt my knee, and I think it's pretty serious, and I'm going to the doctor.
Okay.
And she said, maybe you're just being a little bitch. so she pulled a trick on me.
Okay.
It's like the Sour Patch Kids. First they're sweet, then they're sour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
But I actually did go to the doctor, and I got the X-rays right here.
Whoa.
To let you know that I'm not being a little bitch.
Let me see that.
I actually fractured a pretty big piece
Was
of
that displayed in the? Because it looked normal to me.
Doesn't that say little bitch? Right there.
it does.
Maybe I missed that part.
Interesting that you have a bone
If you
formation.
look a little closer.
If I look
that shape.
closer.
Yeah. It's a little bitch.
If I look a little closer. I missed that part, but what the doctor told me
The
was...
doctor wrote that on there?
Yeah, after he explained to me that...
Because he handed it to you like here, take your...
Yeah. I was like, I got more questions, and,
Okay.
he was ignoring me.
What?
Because he said it's not that serious.
Yeah, he said it's not that serious. He said nothing's... He must listen to the pod, because he did say nothing's
Thanks,
ever
Doc.
that serious. Thank you, doctor. But back to our guest.
Here we go.
Like I said, we met at the gym, right?
We did.
Yeah.
About a year and a half
Has
ago?
it been a year?
Oh, this has been going on for a year?
Well,
It's been that long.
Well, no, actually, when we first met, she was in a relationship.
Okay.
Yeah, so when she first joined the gym, it was a package deal. So I couldn't, So what brought you to that gym?
Well, yeah, like he said, I was in a relationship. I was engaged at the time.
Okay.
It was kind of in the middle of COVID, and so I don't know, I just needed to get some lifestyle changes and join the
I'm not going to look at Kemp, this whole time. I can't do it.
I'm glad I can't see him. But really, though, I needed a new gym. I needed to switch things up because I was kind of I don't know, gaining some weight. And then the guy I was with, I think he was kind of putting on some pounds too. So
that's the what do you call it when you're in a relationship?
Happy weight.
Yeah,
relationship
the relationship weight. Yeah.
Going on them dates.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And ordering those brownies, watching TV.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a friend who asked if we would come and like try it out with her, and I said no. And then finally we went, ended up joining, and then that's when I met Drew. We became pretty good friends. So
Okay. What'd you see in him?
I mean, we were kind of more like acquaintances at first.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we would.
You were respecting the
Yeah, I was respecting the boundaries
Right.
of the the institution of engagement.
of the engagement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and the guy you were engaged to, he was pretty cool. I considered him an
I
acquaintance
keep
and a
hearing
friend too. Was, yeah. So
Did he die?
Is he with us?
no, I think he's still alive. I don't know a lot of the details that happened because it was a big like friend group.
Okay.
You kind of picked up that you're not in that relationship anymore.
Right.
So, do you feel comfortable going down that road and sharing?
Yeah, I mean,
with-
it's kind of like a long.
It's a long story.
Yeah.
You
But
up for it,
I'll
Jay?
give you
Time.
We got nothing but time.
Yep, nothing but time.
Love a story of destruction.
Yeah, so I'll kind of give y'all like the short version of it. So
Okay.
like Drew said, we kind of had like a big like friend group, and we would go out, we would work out together and like go get margaritas after. And so we also had a Halloween party too. And
Yeah, I remember that.
I noticed my fiance at the time. Well, we were kind of having like some issues, and I think a lot of it had to do with like COVID and
Oh, y'all
kinda
were spending
being-
like a lot of time
yeah,
together.
like being like
stuck in the
cooped
house.
up. And I think like overall, really, what came down to it is like we weren't happy like with ourselves, because I know I was going through some stuff.
The weight.
But
She said she put
honestly,
on a couple
though-
pounds
But
during-
Right,
honestly,
yes.
though, yeah, because I kind of felt like a little insecure, and I know like he wasn't happy like with his job. So I mean, we were kind of like fighting a little bit, and so I noticed he kind of like distanced himself.
Inside the house?
Yeah, like
Did y'all live together or
yeah,
were y'all?
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah,
Like he just
so
like
we
go
were-
sit in the car while you
like
Stand
like
across
I'd
the
be
street.
upstairs, he'd be
Look out the window?
downstairs,
Okay.
like
You
not
be,
really
you be in the
talking.
fridge. You be in the fridge.
he be at the
and
mailbox.
Yeah.
Just keep
Yeah.
checking it.
Yeah, he sleep in the car one night, I sleep in the
Yeah.
car
Oh,
the
man.
next. Yeah, something like that.
What was his? Whenever we tell any kind of stories on this podcast, we like to attribute names to people
Yes.
so we don't have to.
Yeah, so it's not, we protect their identities.
Right. So do you know his name? What was his name again?
Bruce.
Bruce. Okay. Yeah, Bruce.
Good old Bruce.
Good old Bruce. Okay.
So anyways, he kind of distanced himself, and I noticed he was spending a little bit more time with one of our friends in the group who was a female.
Outside
it's a
of-
female.
at the gym or after hours? Like he was leaving.
Both.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
So this is somebody in our friend group. What?
Yeah.
Do you know her name?
Allie?
Allie? Okay.
Bruce
was hanging out with Allie?
with Allie.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I
Allie
confronted him
was-
about it. And he was like, no. Allie's a homie. She's
Right. Okay.
she's one of the dudes.
So you
I'm
were
with you, Bruce.
you were in your COVID-15. How did Allie look?
Yeah. well,
Right.
yeah,
Let's look at her
yeah,
real quick.
Let's
So is it on you to describe her, or
Oh, Drew knows Allie?
I
Yeah,
was in the
very-
friend circle, so I think
He was actually a lot closer with
I was good friends with
was Allie nice looking?
She wasn't bad on the eyes.
Okay.
In my opinion, I
Okay.
And I would see.
But this is your story.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
This is your
So,
story.
Okay, so I confronted him about it, and he's no, you're just being insecure, and I was like,
We're homies.
Yeah.
Exactly.
She's one of the
You know,
homies.
Allie's a homie, and I was okay, like, I get it. I've got guy friends. And I was like, maybe I am being like insecure. And so later on, he was like, well, hey, like, I think we've been having some problems lately, We're engaged, we're planning a wedding. And he's like, I'm like in the middle of writing my vows. Like, we got to figure this out.
Very fair, Bruce.
He put the wrong, he was like, Allie. Shoot.
Yeah.
We gotta sit down. Sam. We gotta sit down and have a talk. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And so he's like, I really want to figure this out. Like, I don't want to lose you.
Right,
You're my best friend. Da, da, da. And I was like, yeah, like, you're right. Like, so what do we need to do? So we talked about like therapy or just like kind of maybe taking some space.
How long?
So maybe
we kind of skipped. How long had y'all been together?
So at this point, we're kind of like approaching maybe 4.5 years together.
Right,
and so we were trying to figure out like what the issue was. So he said, well, I think I'm going to go stay at my parents for a few days. And they live down the street. And so I was like, okay, like whatever you feel like you need to do, you do that. And like, I will support you. And he's also like, well, I kind of feel like I'm going through some stuff internally. Da, da, da. And I'm like, okay, well, whatever you need, we're going to figure this out. We'll be okay.
Bruce seems legit right now.
Yeah.
Right?
You said legit.
Yeah, I think it's normal.
Yeah.
And she said you knew each other for 3 years.
That's
They're living together.
They both acknowledged the problem.
Right.
And he said, let me go.
I'm dealing with some things internally. Yeah.
Way to go, Bruce.
So this is probably like the biggest thing. And so I took it like very seriously because I was like, we're like literally going to get married in a year. So let's figure this out now. And so, I'm thinking he's at his parents' house, sleeping there for a few days or however long. Well, so then I found out through social media he was over at Allie's house.
Whoa, hold on.
Social media.
So Allie Allie had posted on Instagram.
This story is moving. Did it happen that fast? So y'all were having issues.
Yeah. So
Allie posted on Instagram. What did she post?
So
wait, you saw on social media that they were hanging out?
At her house.
Okay.
Not at his parents' house. So.
Okay.
This is like a story. Or I'm sorry,
Did they tag you at least in this story?
Well, we follow each other.
Because you guys are friends.
So we're all friends, right?
In my mind, Allie knows what she's doing right off the bat.
So anyways, Allie knew that Bruce and I are together at the time. We're engaged. Wore my ring every day.
But what were they doing hold on, I said, we need to not leave any stone unturned. What?
So
they were homies.
I think yeah,
you can go over to a homie's house.
They could have hung out.
They're playing 2K.
So I think she was maybe having
they were playing Madden.
I think she was having like a party or something.
Okay.
Oh, that's
I think they were just playing beer pong. And
so there was other people there.
Like 2.
Okay. So it was an intimate gathering, you would say.
Was the other 2 a pair?
I'm not sure. I think it was like her cousin. Anyways, not that important. So I texted Bruce and I'm like, interesting. That doesn't look like your parents' house. That kind of looks reasonable. Like Allie.
I don't want to be the needy fiance, but.
And so he said, oh, well, Allie told me she was having like a party. She invited me out. She knew like I was kind of feeling down. And I was like, okay, fine. And I just like let it go. And so then we can fast forward a couple weeks and he's still like not staying at the house. And I'm just trying not to like think too much of it because I don't want to like cause any drama because I'm like thinking in my head, well, we're going to try to figure this out. And he would text me in the middle of the day, I love you, like I can't lose you, and yeah.
Sorry, wrong person.
Whoops. Wait, you did say that his parents' house was down the street. Did you ever go over there, show up?
I did.
Come on,
I did one time, and I will say, his car was not there. In fact not.
Could have been at Chipotle.
He could have been door dashing.
Come on now.
He didn't like his job. He could have been trying new jobs.
You did drive by every day.
Come on now.
No.
Come on. She said one time.
At the window. Oh yeah, he there.
like
had
one time a day,
had a
right?
tracking device on his, because Snapchat. There's been times when I had to disable
listen to
the
this.
location.
So we shared our location, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he turned it off.
Sometimes you got to do that.
He did say he needed space.
He did need space.
It don't count if you know where I'm at.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Did his
Bruce,
parents?
you're clear, sir.
It's not really space if they know where you're at.
Yeah.
So at this point, Bruce is still okay. So then it's like a Friday, and he's like, "Hey, like, you want to grab a beer? We'll talk about things." Okay, sure.
Just y'all two.
A beer.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah.
Buddy.
Because it's like
that's your fiance.
Right. You're like,
Right.
you want to grab a beer, bro?
You try to slide, get a beer real quick.
Well, we were getting off work, and anyways, he was like,
Hey, bro, you want to put that ring on and let's go grab a beer?
You busy, bro?
Bruce is funny.
So we're at a brewery, and we're just talking, and it's fine, and so I'm like, oh, like, we're headed in the right direction, like things are going well.
Mm-hmm.
And so then we get back to the house, and he goes back to the house with me, and he goes to shower, and I'm sitting there like with our dog, and all of a sudden I see like in between like the couch cushion, I was like, that's a hair tie.
At your house?
At our house. Okay. And I was like, that's not my hair tie.
Hold on. I'm going to stop you right there because Jay's really good at finding explanations for things. So, there has to be a reason, even though he wasn't there.
I do need to know. You said it was in between.
It was like, it sounds weird, but so our dog was like digging for something, and I was like, what is she doing? So I like reached, and I was like,
had different color.
I was like, that's not mine.
It was the dog.
The dog dug it up.
Yeah. And so
the dog brought it in the house. Does the dog go outside?
Yeah.
See?
You take the dog for a walk.
That's right.
So it just picked it up, brought it home.
Well, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, so Bruce is still
you're still clear with me, man.
Bruce.
And so I was like, well, this is different than like my kind. And I was like, I only know one person that has this. And it's Allie.
See,
did you go on social media and start? Cause y'all
no, I did.
Start looking for that tie?
I saw a picture of it, and I was like,
of the hair
you could
tie.
Tell from the picture that was the exact hair tie.
You found her hair tie in photos.
Okay. Wow. She must have that 4K screen resolution.
I have it was like a big one.
Oh, okay. Oh, it was like one of the big scrunchies.
It's not one of these. It was like something that was, that stuck out a little bit more. And I was like, and so I asked Bruce, I said, whose is this? I said, because it's not mine. And he said, it's my mom's. He said,
Bruce.
He said, she was at the house cleaning earlier when we were at work. And I said, well, Bruce, your mom has short hair.
That's why it
short,
fell out,
like
though.
Short.
Right.
Because her hair was
short. She was trying to put it in it.
Where did it go?
And he's like, oh. And I said,
and he said, well, it was my dad's.
Well, his dad is bald.
That's why it fell out.
So anyways, so I'm like, well, is it Allie's? And he's like, no.
Whoa.
So I'm just being straightforward at this point, and he keeps saying, no, it's not. And so later on, he said, well, Allie came over one night so we could talk.
So you're a heavy sleeper.
Yeah.
And so I don't know where I was. Maybe I think I was
She was planting her.
Yeah, so I think I was out of town.
You were checking to see where he was.
So I was at my sister's, and I said,
"Well, past each other."
You were so focused on finding him, he went right past you.
So he ends up saying, "Well, yeah, it is Allie. She came over so we could talk."
Bruce,
and
he came clean. Hey.
Yep.
Hey,
he did.
You still good so far.
That's the gentleman thing to do.
So I'm like, okay, well, is she still like, is Allie still a homie? Like, what's going on? And,
fair question.
And he's like, yeah, like she's a homie. Like we're just friends. Like she's helping me. And I was like,
2K rematch.
And I'm like, well, you have a lot of other friends that you're really close with, like your best friends that you haven't talked to, like about this situation. So why are you going to Allie when you just met her? Well, I don't know.
I would say when you're in a situation, like you can't speak to that one person you normally would speak to. It may not be appropriate always. However, I don't think it's weird for you to meet someone new, start connecting with them, and like spill out or start sharing with that person because it's outside of that atmosphere you felt trapped in.
Yeah, and so
not saying he was trapped, but
and so I also thought about that. So again, I was like, you know, I really want to get through these problems. Like I want to figure it out. So I'm just going to kind of not ignore it, but I'm not going to make it a bigger deal than what it is.
Okay. He said he was going to get therapy.
Right. Yeah. So and we were talking about
he went and got.
Well,
he
so I think
Allie.
So
but when you go to therapy, aren't you supposed to lay on the couch? It seems like she was laying on the couch and lost the headband.
Yeah. So Allie was the therapist, I think, for Bruce. So anyway, so then I start to talking to people from like our gym and like our friend group, and I'm kind of piecing things together, and I'm seeing.
She had a board. She had
with the lines, and I'm like, okay, these lines aren't so like matching up. So you say you was with him on Thursday? And so then I find out that they were like hanging out like.
More than you knew.
And that he was actually staying at Allie's house the whole time and not his parents' house. Okay, and then I also heard
I knew about this story, but I don't know like details like that. So this is like new to me. So I'm hearing this for the first time as well.
So
did his parents like you?
They loved me.
Okay.
Like they wanted like grandkids. They were like, when's the wedding? Like they really wanted to like speed things up. So like I had a really good relationship with his parents.
So did you ever talk to them throughout? I'm not even talking. Did you ever talk to them throughout this time?
Yeah,
like,
I
thought
did.
He was over there, and what was kind of like.
Well,
that's a good question.
So you remember
that boy ain't been over here.
Yeah, whose side were they on? Were they like...
He parked this car here last week. I ain't seen him.
So, Drew, you remember when I think you, Bruce, and Allie went to that Mexican restaurant and I wasn't there that night?
Depending on where this goes, I may or may not have been there.
You were there. I know that you... Yeah.
Keep
you
going,
were there. Okay, so
I do remember going to Mexican.
It has nothing to do with you. Okay. You were just there.
Okay, I was there.
You're in the clear.
Okay.
We do know. Just so we're clear, we all know Drew's part in all of this.
That's right.
He was trying to make a play at Allie. Allie got swooped away. So then he went and started consoling.
Yes.
He
worked from the inside out.
Sam.
He did.
Hey man.
Okay.
Yep.
Just want to put that out there.
How did you get that from what she said so far?
It's clearly an inside job. Clearly.
So they had gone out to dinner. I didn't get the invite.
But you were there.
With Bruce.
I was there,
and Allie. And so I'm like, hey, you coming home tonight? Talking to Bruce. And he's like, yeah, we're about to leave. And he throws you under the bus. I don't know if you knew that. He said,
like I said, I'm learning a lot of this in the room.
He said, Drew wanted to go get a drink. Just me and him.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
not mad at him.
You know, if you listen to the pod, I'm no...
You know Saint.
No, I'm no... I'm not in opposition to bromance.
That's right.
Yeah.
You got.
Yeah, and so I said, okay, whatever. And so then I'm like, oh, well, so all these other people are going, like, I didn't know about this. And so...
Wait 1 second. Can I consider your feelings for a second? Right. How do you feel about him putting you in the middle of
that? Hey, like I said, the bro code, the guy code.
So you was okay with it?
At the time, I didn't know. Like she just said, I didn't know that he said that me and him were going for a drink. I'm actually disappointed that he said that he told her that we were going. Where's Bruce?
Bruce.
You owe me a drink, Bruce.
Continue.
So, throughout the night, because it's like, I don't know, 9 o'clock, and I think y'all had all worked out together maybe at like 5:30.
Okay, yeah, I remember now. We did a workout.
Then it's like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and I'm like, where's Bruce? So I called his mom and I was like, hey, Miss Bruce, have you talked to Bruce?
Right.
Like, I haven't heard from him. And
like you said,
he's been in Oklahoma for going on 6 weeks.
And so she's
talking
like,
to the dad, like, honey, I'm running out of excuses.
He's like, hello?
And she's like, oh, why? I just talked to Bruce and he's out at dinner with, y'all's friends. And I was like,
okay.
Well, you know, it's like 10:30 at this point. He's been gone since like 5. So
late dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dinner.
They could have
Dessert.
been. They could have been
That's right.
running late. So he just like didn't come home that night, like at all. So I was like, weird. And so I actually had cooked dinner that night. We were going to sit down and have a nice home-cooked meal, talk about our problems, and that's when we were going to squash everything and just get to the bottom of it. So,
not being funny, but did you make squash?
So anyways, he didn't come home that night, and like I said before, I was hearing things from other people, so I'm like piecing things together, and people were like, "Oh, I heard that Bruce and Allie are like together," and I was like, "Well, what do you mean?" Because like we're together.
Ooh, you showed the ring.
And and they were like, "Oh, I didn't know y'all were together. I for sure thought that Allie was dating Bruce," and I'm like,
Okay.
So at that point, I moved out. This is going over like 3 weeks, a month, and I was like, I got to get out. So
this might be jumping ahead in the story, but you weren't like, all right, this has gone too far.
Right.
Like, let me be the person who kind of steps up and says, enough is enough. Come home. Let's figure this out.
I don't like to think of myself as ever being like desperate or like begging someone, but like at this point, I'm like begging, and I was like, I can't lose you. Like, we love each other. Like, we can get through this. Like, I'll do anything. I mean, I was really doing the most, and I was talking to my friends about it. Man, it was really traumatic, honestly. Not that this is like serious, but it really was like a traumatic experience for me. And I think like being in the house, it was just like the anxiety of it.
On this pod that nothing's ever that serious.
That's what I'm saying.
I can feel the.
This what I'm with you on. I'm on this section.
We were at this point like we were like done. We were not engaged anymore. We were not together, and
I do want to know, when he came back and he saw your stuff in boxes, was there any like?
He was like, okay. Like, he was...
He was like, need a hand.
Honestly, he was like, okay with it. And then he said later on... This was on first? He said later on, like, I can help you. And I'm like...
Bruce. That's a nice thing to do.
It was his most valuable trophy. She, like, packed it up, and he was like... just take it.
Go ahead.
Yeah. And so he was just like... I mean, I could tell he wasn't okay with the situation, but he was okay with it, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. After I moved back in, like with the parents, I'm seeing like on social media, like they're a lot more public, hanging out together in groups and always together. And I was like, okay, like, obviously there was something going on. Right. We were together for this long, and you're just like already, basically with somebody else. Mm-hmm. And so he kind of just like gaslighted me and just like turned the whole situation on me, and manipulated everything and put it on me and told everybody that we weren't like a good fit anymore or something like that. So obviously I was really upset about that. Later on, couple months down the road,
she wasn't. Oh, you
a fit? She wasn't fit.
Oh, the relationship wasn't.
Okay. Yeah, not her.
Okay, but he wasn't speaking on the whole. Was it 4.5 years? Mm-hmm. He just talking about this end part.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
See, I thought we were talking about her bumping in the door frame. Where she was trying to go
Yeah. So we didn't talk for a few months, and I really just kind of like hit rock bottom. I feel like, and I think that's where Drew and I got a little bit closer. I don't know if he purposely did this.
I was gonna say,
Drew.
Yeah. Say what y'all want to say, and then I'll say.
I just got a couple questions.
Okay.
She just eloquently stated that she was at rock bottom.
Right.
That means the lowest of the low.
Right.
You were hanging out with Bruce.
Right.
Are you in the dark about this, or are you aware that this is going on?
I'm aware that there was an engagement. And
that was no longer happening?
That was no longer happening, yes.
Okay.
That's it.
All right, that's all you. All right, let me hear. Let me hear Kemp's
question.
Right. Okay.
He said everything I needed
so I'm gonna be real with you.
Please, I'm begging you to be authentic right now.
Okay, so when the situation first happened, I would be like flirtatious, I guess. You might not remember some of this, but
I do remember.
Okay, and there might have been like. Just a natural, we as guys, I would be lying if I said I wasn't checking the temperature.
Okay. Hey, man, you know what? Thank you.
But you were like, hey, one of our friends opened up a coffee shop. Do you want to go try the coffee shop? And there was like 3 or 4 of us that had got invited, but the other people couldn't make it. But you were there, and then I went.
It was just y'all two?
Yeah, it was just us two. And then, so still in my head, like, we don't know each other that well.
Did you know, you didn't know that nobody was showing up until you got there? Because if this was a group chat, I'm sure everybody was like, dang, not going to be able to make it.
I didn't know that
it was just going to be me.
Us two.
Okay.
Yeah, but
like I said, like I said, I'm gonna be honest and genuine here because if I do lie about anything, then I'm lying about everything.
You messaged other people.
It said don't show up.
Actually,
I don't think we're meeting anymore.
Do me a favor and
don't
him
on the side. She canceled it, bro.
Right.
Nobody's showing up.
I sent them the wrong coffee shop.
Mm-hmm. They went.
You said it was Starbucks.
Yeah. But here's what happened, and I think this is kind of where she was going.
Okay.
I could see that.
Were you wearing cologne?
She started sniffling, like she started crying, and I was like, "Is my cologne too strong, or is something wrong?" But yeah, so I would say that you kind of opened up there on the couch. Mm-hmm. And she was kind of like telling me, let me reword that.
Y'all had me until couch. So this coffee shop.
The coffee shop has like I said, one of our friends opened it. It's a nice, it's a little more than a Starbucks.
Okay.
It's a whole experience.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. And this is not a house, right?
Correct.
Okay. It was a public
setting.
Public setting.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. So she started to like share some of things that were going on in her life and some of her struggles. Mm-hmm. And that was the point where I had to kind of...
That's when the plot started forming.
If the plot was there, that was when I had to kind of take a look at myself and say...
You said, oh, she's a human being.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right, because,
I can't do this.
Right. And I was like, here's somebody who's like broken.
Genuinely going through
something. And here I am just like plotting and thinking about my own life.
Okay.
That was when
That's when you start looking at the barista and you're like, you single?
I was like, this sounds like a good story, but if you just give me a minute, I'll let you finish telling me.
You just kept getting refills. Like, I don't want to drink that much coffee. You're going to be up for 3 days.
I was like, this Allie and Bruce story sounds good, but let me go get a refill. Yeah. But no, I was just saying, I think that was the first time like we bonded, and I was like, there's more to her than I had created in my head.
Okay.
Because I don't think we ever had like a serious conversation before that.
No, probably not.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And I was like, well, she's pretty cool. I actually like this person. And then, that's when like the messages where you would post something on, because when girls go through it, you start seeing like the gym posts and the Jesus posts.
Everybody knows when a girl is going through something.
That's right. You show it all.
So Drew definitely helped me through that, and so then I think
he's a very helpful guy.
Yeah. And so I think at this point, what is it, like maybe February, and I start to get like text from him,
from Bruce,
and he goes, "I messed up."
So
I
Wait, what was he referring to?
He had messed up.
Come back.
Baby, come back.
Basically, he's not wrong. So yeah, he was just like, I messed up big time.
Accountability.
And he basically just admitted that, you know, he was the one that was doing wrong, and I actually wasn't the problem.
Okay.
And so he was like begging to like meet up and talk face to face. And I mean, this is like probably 2 months down the road. We hadn't said a word to each other. And so during that time, I'm like I said earlier, I was like, I hit like rock bottom, and I was like, I got to figure this out like by myself. Like I got to, you know, be like just Sam, because for so long it was always Sam and Bruce. Just Sam, like how do we do that? And so you know, I took that time just to kind of like work on myself. And so so then he was like begging, like, can we please meet up? I just have a lot I gotta say. So finally I was like, all right, well we'll meet up.
He didn't even show up to this dinner either.
And so we met up.
Like, he was like, just kidding again.
Just kidding.
He said Drew was actually taking me
Allie won't let me go.
Drew invited me again. I just, you know, I can't say no.
Yeah, so we met up, and he really just couldn't even like look at me. He was like shaking, and he's like, Sam, like I messed up. Like what did I do? And so at this point I'm like, is he like trying to get me back? And so I said, I've been doing this all by myself. Like I feel like I did this the right way. I've been taking care of me, working on me. And I said, but you've been with Allie. So like, why are you trying to come back to me? When you love somebody and you make that promise to them, and you know, propose to them, that's you making a promise that like you'll always be there through like the good and the bad, whatever it is. And
it was bad too.
It was real bad. And so I was like, you know, that's not somebody that I can be with for the rest of my life. So it really like opened up my eyes, and I was just like,
did any of the stuff resonate with you? Like, okay, so it's been a month, you said. No words have been spoken. He was, I think the word you used was gaslit you to think that it was all you.
Yeah.
Did you look back at the relationship and start thinking about?
Yeah, so for the longest time I thought that really I was the problem, and you know, I was the crazy one, and I was the insecure one. And then like later on I was like, okay, it wasn't me. I wasn't, you know, the problem. I mean, I'm not perfect, but you know, ultimately I really like, I wasn't the problem. So that's when I became like okay with the situation.
Pounders, man.
Yeah, is there a update? Is there a COVID-19 update?
Yeah,
a month
so
later?
I started to you know, hit the gym a little bit more.
Okay, so you're going harder this time.
Yeah. Yeah, so I just, you know, made it really clear that I wasn't ever going to consider getting back together with him. And so at that point, I'm like, I kind of need to get back up on my feet. Not that I was ready to like date, but you know, I didn't want to like sit around and like, you know, cry about it anymore. I wanted to not really put myself out there, but just, you know, kind of. And so I ended up kind of seeing a guy.
Okay.
For a little bit.
What does the name start with? It's not a or a D, right?
No.
Oh. Go on.
But what was his name though? The new guy that she's seeing.
Zach.
Okay, Zach.
Yeah. And we hung out, and then I was like, oh, Zach is pretty cool. I kind of like hanging out with Zach.
Okay.
And so
you put in all this work. How do you feel, Drew, now that she's out with Zach?
Because I imagine you knew about Zach.
I don't don't think you.
I don't think I knew
Not
about that.
until later on.
This is new information to me. Because
Yeah,
the whole time I'm, she's crying on my shoulders about Bruce.
Yeah, your eyes are a little shiny now, but
she's starting to,
open up,
bounce back, and be like, okay, I'm feeling better about this situation, so I'm getting
in other
ready
words,
to.
You got her stable,
right?
And she took that stability somewhere else.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
When you say it like that, but yeah, kind of. So Zach and I were hanging out like a little bit, but nothing serious. Just maybe like on the weekends, and I feel like Zach actually, low key, he probably doesn't even know this, but he really helped me kind of figure out like what I was like interested in and not interested in, because I had only known how Bruce was. Right. And so I was like...
So Drew didn't help you in that way?
Thank you.
No.
Wow.
Okay.
No.
Right.
You're good enough, okay?
Thank you.
If she didn't tell you.
He is.
Right.
Okay. He is. Okay. So I will always be thankful for
Round
Zach.
of applause, Zach.
Yeah.
So Bruce is
Stand
over.
up, guys.
Yep.
Stand up, guys.
Like...
Yeah, is there an
update?
Is there an update on Bruce?
Yeah, so I can't believe I forgot to even mention this. So back in like the spring, I have a friend text me and she's like, "You won't believe what I just heard." And I said, "Allie's pregnant."
Oh.
So Bruce now has a child with Allie.
It's born?
It is born.
Okay.
Yep, it's there.
So if I said congrats, would you feel offended to them?
I will say at one point, like you mentioned, there was a friend circle. So, it's like, do you separate the person from the bad deeds? Right. Because, I was friends with these people at one point, and, if I wish them, congratulations as well.
I would say, whose side are you on?
Would you be offended here?
You know what? Let's toast.
Let's toast to new life.
Wish you the best. Wish y'all all the success.
Right.
Moving forward.
Yeah. Sometimes some of the greatest love stories do come out of like she said.
Yeah.
You realize that you weren't fit, or you weren't a great fit for that relationship. So it was best after it's over now. Could you see yourself being married to Bruce?
No.
So, but is that solely because he cheated, or is it your...
No. Just like looking back on things, I felt like I wasn't even like the same person. Like, do you think that I'm the same person now that I was when I was with Bruce, or do you?
When I first met you, you seemed just, I felt like a lot of negative energy.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think I was a lot more like judgmental of people and cared a little bit more about like what people thought of me. And so I think like when I was with him, because he was kind of like the same way, like I feel like we talked more negatively, and I hate this. Like admit,
y'all was up in y'all's
like
castle.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to like admit that, but I think because where we were at that point, just compared to kind of other people like at our age, like we had like our own house, he had a good job, we were about to get married, like we were doing like on the outside, like we were doing real good.
I agree.
Like we thought we were up on like our like little high horse, and so we would, I think he would like look down on people, and then it kind of rubbed off on me, and so we spent a lot more time like maybe judging people, and just not making an effort to kind of like get to know people, and so we kind of just like stayed to ourselves.
Right.
So I think
it sounds like the universe.
Yeah. So I think even with like the cheating or whatever, there were like other things that were going on that I didn't realize that made us like not the most compatible.
So have you ever considered that he may have felt the same way? and that's what led him to do what he did?
And
maybe.
that is Guru on Bang. That's wisdom juice, man.
The wisdom is pumping.
I'm just saying, what do you think drove him to that?
Well, obviously y'all don't know him the way that I know him.
No, that's what I'm asking.
We shared a few beers.
So,
I think you got better insight than we do.
So, just by trends, when things get tough, he likes to find like an easier route.
Okay.
That sounds logical.
Always been
some would
like
say
that.
he finds an alley out of
Yeah.
An alleyway.
An alleyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think throughout the years that we were together, he always found the easier way out. So this time he found the alleyway out.
So you knew this was him? Like that was his personality?
Well, I didn't realize it until actually after we had broken up, because my dad, my poor dad, he was like, I didn't want to bring this up because I knew you were, so happy. And I think overall you guys were a pretty good couple. He was like, but he said, I started to notice these things throughout the years, but I didn't want to bring it up. But he was like, you remember when this happened and then this happened and this happened?
Dad, we could have avoided this whole thing.
I mean,
Right?
come on, buddy.
Where you at?
Yeah. So I was like,
Yeah, at that
actually,
point
yeah,
it becomes
you're right.
like,
Over 7?
no, if
Oh,
you
okay.
didn't say anything at the time, but
It's
then
like, why now?
Why now? Yeah.
Your friends and family, you have a place to speak that
Yeah.
Right.
wisdom into somebody's
Well, I think
life.
my dad just kind of like, maybe like I was
You
an
were
adult and he didn't. I was stubborn.
Yeah,
and
no,
he
that's
didn't
what it was. He
want-
knew you weren't going to hear it.
Right.
Yeah. So I think he also just didn't want to get like too involved and, like overall. I mean, I'm not saying Bruce is a bad person. I'm also not saying he's a great person.
Right.
But he's not like a bad person, and I think my dad kind of like
Gotcha.
knew that.
Right.
So, I'm a bit body language person, and I've been sitting right beside you,
That's right.
and I feel like you're still harboring a lot of negative feelings and hate toward Bruce and Allie.
Well, okay. I feel like, will I ever be over like what happened, just because it was so like traumatic. So maybe I won't ever just like get over
PTSD.
it. Maybe like in my next like real relationship, will I like have concerns about like, will this happen again, and have like, some reservations. Am I over him? Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I feel like I still kind of like get upset just because of how I felt like about myself, because I felt so low about myself.
Right.
And I wouldn't wish that on anybody. Like the way that I felt, I would never want anybody to feel the way that like I did. So it's still like, emotional. And I don't know if you remember, but do you remember on my birthday, we were like texting a little bit, and I was like, man, I'm kind of emotional right now. And I think it's because it had almost been like a year of when everything happened. And I was like, damn, like I have come like so far from where I was like a year ago. And I think I felt like kind of proud of myself of like where I've come like mentally and like physically and like with like my career, and like I have a house and like I'm doing my own thing, like I'm good. So it's emotional, but like,
Do you have a therapist?
Because we know one. Sometimes she drops her bow
hair
in
tie.
her hair tie in the. But she'll definitely listen.
But she'll listen.
She'll listen.
She'll listen.
All right.
But it is a human condition to be like, I went through this, so I'm gonna be real cautious in the next thing. And while it's understandable, it's also unfair to the next person.
yeah.
So if it is something that you got to work through, maybe you
Look
will
into
have
a
to go out.
therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We happen to have one to your left.
To your left. But I was gonna say, because we did do an episode.
Wow. I'm really about to get licensed. You guys just inspired me in that moment.
Yo,
I
I
feel
wrote
like
it.
I
you
can actually
could.
talk to people
Yeah.
on the show.
You have
If you
a lot
haven't
to
gotten the
say.
wisdom
School
by
is that?
now,
I'm going back to school.
You're going back to school to be a
He's
therapist?
going back to
here's
school.
here's what
There we go.
usually happens. I always see things like 10 years in advance, and nobody wants
Nobody
to confirm
notices.
it until everybody confirms it.
Right. But I was going to say, we did a whole episode about how my
Yeah.
girl got taken from me in high school and how I still have some PTSD to this day. And that might be where some of my trust issues and commitment issues.
We'd be having lunch and just be chilling. He'll like scream the B word. Like, you all right?
Yeah, you'll be like, how's your talk? I'm like, bitch. It's like Tourette's. Sorry. And it's like, you know what? You know, I've been pretty vulnerable about that on this pod. And it's been like so many years that I'm like so past that. But it's like, if
Are you?
am I though? But it's like, I remember the first years after that, I was like, am I ever going to get over this? It's like you're 2, 3, 4 years removed from this situation and you still feel the same about it. So I think that might have, like how you felt the body language, and I was able to like empathize with her and sympathize and be, and I think I texted you like I was proud because I knew what you were feeling because I felt it. And I was like, the way that you were thriving through that, you know, I shared on this podcast how I kind of went the wrong way. And I started kind of.
I can actually say that felt genuine.
It is.
Usually that's a play, but I'm gonna give you this
That's
one.
what I'm saying. I was trying to be real. And it's like, I really had that moment where, you know, I told you where I want to connect with people. I don't always want to be thinking like about, you know, making your play, you know. And I was like, here's a nice person who's going through something. This is an opportunity to be a good friend. I don't got to win them all.
Okay.
You know, so. But she is a viewer of the podcast.
What I'm thinking?
She is a watcher of the podcast.
Yes.
And she did kind of inquire as to the status of, you know, the other people on the pod.
This seating chart wasn't a coincidence.
Okay. Because
you're already laughing. That's good.
Yeah.
So, you witnessed the wisdom. And even though he had a bang, he does that in his sleep.
Is wise.
Okay? Right?
Yeah, he's wise.
He's already ahead of every guy you just told us about.
Right.
I think I make him nervous.
Yeah, even better.
Even better. What are you saying here?
I don't want to pressure anybody.
Right. Okay.
I don't even know if Kemp is open to things. But hypothetically, in another universe.
Okay.
Or this one.
Or this one.
Hypothetically, can I just say, I tried telling Kemp that I was a catch, and he said, I don't see it.
Wait, hold on.
That is not what I said.
Hold on. Wait, hold on. Hold on. There's a jump in this story.
I did not.
Are they fighting right? Oh, let's just be quiet.
It's our first fight.
Let's listen in.
Y'all listening? It happened, and I said, "What do you mean?"
What I said
How did this
was
when did this conversation happen?
No, they did it on their own. All right, this is how dates work. Okay, right.
What I said exactly was. Actually, I don't know exactly what I said, but I said
can
something
pull up the
along
receipts.
the lines. I mean, you
I have
can, because what I said was, like, I didn't know you, so I couldn't speak on whether that was fact or not. However, if we look at Drew's rap sheet,
Okay.
that
How did I get into this? Where did he come from? I had nothing to do with this.
that he usually doesn't have the best taste in.
So you were dissing me and her at the
Yeah,
same
at the
time.
same-
Dissing her through you.
Yeah, but this was after
Damn, so he threw me under the bus.
slid into her DMs.
It's a common thing.
Another time.
Next time I get in trouble.
Yeah.
Oh, the Bruce threw me under the
Bruce
bus.
threw
Yeah.
you.
He did.
There's a trend.
My own producer threw me under the bus. Wow.
That is justified, Guru. And after explaining yourself, is there a new way that you are looking at what he said?
I think I did respond and say, "You might be right."
About not
About
being
you.
a catch?
No, about you.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't even understand. What do they mean by my track? Can you explain that to me?
You know what? I have no idea.
Okay.
I got no idea.
So Kent was saying that I don't go for catches.
Hey, man.
Can you help me figure this out?
Well, maybe can he clarify it?
Okay. Well, we got him here.
Yeah.
He's banged up.
He's banged up. What did you mean by that, sir?
In order for your plays to succeed,
Oh.
the people you're casting your rod for have to kind of, I guess, be in a place to take the bait.
I follow. I'm not saying I agree,
Oh, thank you.
but I comprehend.
Wow. Guru thinks that I'm out here just looking for the
Preying on the helpless.
preying on the helpless. Yeah. Wow.
There's a distressed woman.
Okay.
Let
I
her-
see the picture.
You ever had
Give
coffee?
her
I
a-
see
a
the-
shoulder to lean on.
I see the picture. I see the light I painted
They
myself.
say when
on
you
this.
going when you meet people, your first question is, have you ever had any recent breakups?
Whoa. I really am learning a lot about myself on the podcast.
When was your last relationship? About 2 weeks ago.
Perfect.
Do you like coffee?
Oh man. All right. Well.
Wow. You've been attacked a lot today, and
Hey.
I just ain't got nothing. Hey man,
Hey, it's okay.
it's okay.
But Guru, can you wrap this? Can you wrap
Take
this
us
all
home.
up? Take us home, Guru.
Can we wrap it up with an answer? Is there any future here, or
I do have an answer to
let's
that.
go?
Ooh.
Do you mind if I take it?
Ooh, this guy is smooth.
Yeah, I'm feeling really good about now.
Yes.
Right about now.
All right, let's hear it. Maybe she's right. Does she make him nervous? She did
I
say
do.
that.
It's
She doesn't make me nervous.
He's
Make me
speechless.
nervous.
That's the bang still.
Okay. Wisdom juice.
So I don't even have anything to this.
Oh wow, he sent me a text.
Okay, so he couldn't get the words out, but he texted it to you. Did he provide
If
an
you-
answer?
Yes.
Wait,
Okay.
as you
Oh.
as you read that,
Oh.
you have to look here. It's take it away, Jay.
I'm feeling good right now. But
Wait. Sam just texted me
what is
her answer.
Oh.
So you can read.
Okay.
You read what Guru sent you, and I'll read what she sent
Sent
me.
you. Okay.
Okay.
Cool,
Yeah,
cool.
All right. Perfect.
I'm feeling good right now.
She said, "I'm also feeling good too."
Funny you say that because I started instantly feeling better when we locked eyes.
Yes.
With that being said, I need more wine.
She said, "When is this podcast over? I'm thinking of leaving my car here because Guru has offered me a ride."
Not only can I give you a ride,
Ooh, okay.
there's some X-rated stuff, so I'm gonna go over
Okay,
that.
yeah. Skip. We're a family-friendly
Family, we have mothers watching.
yeah.
What do you say we get this show on the road?
Yeah.
No
And-
pun intended. He put in
Right.
quotations.
And she exclamation marked the "give me a ride" message.
Okay.
I don't know what that
Okay.
meant. And she agreed, let's get rid of these other two losers.
Yes.
And let's get this show on the road. So we're here on this show, but apparently they have another show that we're
do,
not
we do.
privy to.
And apparently it's
Very
mobile.
much so.
Let's go ahead and wrap this up.
Yes, we should.
And
I agree.
you know, I appreciate you. You know, this
Yeah.
this episode went a little bit different than I thought
Yes.
it would.
Ooh.
But that's
You know, something. Beauty always comes from tragedy.
Yeah,
when you look at it in the right lens.
When you look at it through the right lens,
and just here's a story with a happy ending.
Happy ending, new life. Toast to new life. And y'all continue to like and subscribe. Come back next week, and we'll have more for you. We'll have an update.
Yeah, thank you for rocking with us.
Thank you.
We rock with you.
Okay. And anything you want to say?
Thanks for having me.
Yes. Can we give her a round of applause?
Yes.
Let's give a round of applause to our guests. Let's give a round of applause to
New life.
to new life.
Again.
To new life. To new life. Beautiful. And we'll see y'all next time.
Jay with the jokes, funny guy. Drew with the blah blah, telling crazy stories for a lifetime. Kemp got the wisdom for him, like nothing's ever that serious. And if you don't listen, then you're delirious.
Bro, you can't say that. Why not? Because we're live. I just said nothing's ever that serious.